Hi, fragrant friends, and happy fall. Today we are going to be talking about a flower that I believe is very appropriate for fall, and that's rose. Rose in general, to me, is very versatile. It's up there with vanilla and with the way that you can mix it and make it appropriate for different occasions and get different feels out of it. When I first started my fragrance journey, I did not like rose, but I continued to test it and I grew to actually love it. I love rose in fragrances. It's my second favorite flower after, the category of white florals. So what I'm going to do today is take you through my rose fragrances that I have. I have listed them or, ordered them in freshest to spiciest. And with me, just so that you get my perspective and you know where I'm coming from, I like fresh scents and I like fresh roses, but it can't be screechy or stinging my nose. So I'll give you an example of a fragrance that does that, just so that you know my perspective. So Chloe EDP, all of the Chloes, they're too sharp for me, and that's the perfect word to describe it. They're too sharp, and it's not pleasant for me to smell. So all of these roses have more sweetness than Chloe, and they go on to be spicy and sweet. They all are sweet as well. So what I'm going to start with is Delina. It's just a decant, but I hope to add this to my collection soon. Now I'm sure we've all heard of, but just in case, it has rhubarb, rose, and incense. I get a little bit of powder out of it, and the notes that I have described to you are what I get the most out of it. It's beautiful for fall days, and I think I said all these fragrances are perfect for fall because rose tends to have a lot of character to it, and I think it's strong enough to last through the cooler weather. So even the ones that are daytime appropriate for the fall can possibly be worn fall evenings into winter days possibly. But like I said, rose is pretty strong. It can handle its own and last through the cooler weather. So this one I would wear in fall days. So Delina. The next one that I have is Miss Dior, and this is Absolutely Blooming. This one to me, okay, so before I get started with the rest of them, I just want to say that I am very adventurous with my food and I like to eat. So I'm a foodie, and so my descriptions are probably always going to be relating scent to a taste or a food or something like that, because it's the most relatable thing to me. If it smells like foodie, This one has pomegranate. This is raspberry, blackcurrant, rose, and musk at the base. But when I smell this, I get like a Pez or a, the powdery pixie stick. Those things come to mind because it's very fruity, and when you eat those things, they kind of dissolve into your mouth. You can taste the fruitiness, but also they're powders, and so when you just smell them, they kind of are chalky or powdery, and so that's what I get out of this fragrance. Like I said, the base is pretty musky, but it never is too heavy. You get a sense of the musk. This is also daytime fall appropriate as well, maybe even going into evening. So this is Dior, Miss Dior, Absolutely Blooming. The next one I love. I haven't gotten a chance to wear it too much, but I look forward to wearing it this season. And this is Viktor and Rolf Dancing Roses. This one has that cherry note, and it is tart, but it's also sweet. It's cherry liqueur. And so what it reminds me of is those, I think they're called Amarena cherries, but they're very, I think they come in lighter colors also, but how I've seen them and how I've eaten them are very, very dark. And I like to eat them. I've even bought them, out of the store just to eat them out of, out of the jar. But they're definitely used in liquors, amaretto sours or whiskey sours. This one dries down to a fresh rose. And I would say that the rose in this is very similar to the rose that's in Delina, except it doesn't dry down to the incense and the powderiness. This stays pretty fresh. So I would say that this is good for daytime as well, but maybe you could get away with it in the evenings as well because of the deepness of that cherry note, but it doesn't stay through the whole fragrance. The dry down is more fresh because of the rose. So maybe daytime or evening. So that's Viktor and Rolf, Dancing Roses. This next one I've mentioned before. This is Nina Ricci, and this is Rose Extase. This one smells like, I've already said before, strawberries and roses and like a strawberry hard candy. And what came to mind the more that I thought about it was definitely, do you guys remember those strawberry candies with the juicy middle? They were wrapped in a strawberry wrapper with the green top. This is that. This is exactly what that smells like. Imagine that you're smelling, you know, the most fragrant rose, you know, red rose. And I can't think of anything else or any other way to describe it because it's juicy, you know. If you have ever smelled, I just have a travel size of Chevaux d'Or by House of Sillage. So that one is more watery. Now, if you can compare this one to that one, this would be more viscous. It's more syrupy. So maybe those of you who've smelled that fragrance or have that fragrance can compare the two or can get a sense of what this one smells like. So it's beautiful. I love this one. Very fun. Definitely, I would say that I would wear this one in the evening. I might even wear this one at nighttime just because the base is a little woody, but the fragrance is so juicy and it's thick also. So I think that I could get away with wearing this one in the late nights, definitely day, definitely evening. So Nina Ricci, this is Rose Extase. It's really, really pretty, really fun. The next one I have is really fresh on top, but then it dries down to a more musky, suede-like base. And this is Coach. This is the EDP. This one has pear and raspberries on top. And it goes down. Then you get the rose after it starts to dry down. And then the base is more, like I said, musky and suede-like. So this is more of a musky. We're starting the musky roses now. The ones I mentioned before were more on the fresh, fruity side. Okay, this one is nice. The next one, I'm going to continue to mention this, is Delina Exclusif. I've fallen in love with this fragrance. Both of the Delinas that I have. Powdery, rose, cotton candy. And this has oud in it, but I don't really pick up the oud, maybe just a little bit if I were to put it on my skin at the very end. But this one stays very fluffy. It stays very sweet, very rosy, candy-like this one is. Like I said, cotton candy. I would say this is like a rose cotton candy, powdery, rosy, cotton candy-like. Definitely could wear it in the evenings, daytime. I think this one is pretty versatile. I would say you could wear this at any time of day. Okay, so the next one I have is Roses Greedy by Mancera. This one is very simple, but it's also very strong. This one will last you forever. You don't need that many sprays. Fresh, sweet rose, but with a musky base. Fresh sweet rose with the musky base. There's not much more that I could say about it. It's beautiful. I haven't gotten to use this one a whole lot either, but again, this is the fall. This is the season for it, so I look forward to wearing this one. The next one I have, it's just a 10 mil, but I love this one as well. This is Kayali Elixer. This is Elixir 11, okay? And this one is special because there is apple at the top and rose. I think there's jasmine and then musk. So this one is sweet, kind of fresh for cooler days, I would say, but it's still sweet. But when it dries down, that musk shines. It's very musky at the base. So this is perfect for this time of year. And I would say you could definitely wear this one at nighttime as well. Possibly in the daytime, maybe not to work. I guess it just depends on you and your preferences, what you are comfortable with. But I don't think this is one that I would wear to work at all. It's on the sexy side, sensual, sexy side. So, all right. I plan to get a full bottle of this one also. It's worth it to me. It's very nice. All right. So the next one I have is Van Cleef Arpels, and this is Rose Rouge. This one, now we're getting out of this musky and getting more into the sweeter, spicier roses. This one is a little bit spicy, and what I didn't realize is that it reminds me of Armani C, but fresher. It's on the fresher side, and this has an addition of cacao. So when you spray this, you definitely get the cacao a little bit. It's not strong throughout the fragrance, but it definitely persists throughout the life of the fragrance. It's almost like a wine, like rose, vanilla, cacao, and fruity at the top. I think there's black currant, maybe blackberry. I'm not sure of the fruit, but I think they're berries at the top. And it goes more musky, more vanillic, and definitely that cacao kind of persists. And what was funny the other day, and I'm not sure that I would get it again, possibly, but oh, there's patchouli in this too, and that reminds me because of what I was about to say. I almost got like a cocoa minty, almost on the verge of minty, and I think it was the cacao, possibly with the patchouli. I didn't see any other notes that would make sense to me as to why that I would get that feel. But again, this is really pretty. It's on the lighter side as far as its projection and the longevity. But if you smelled our Armani C, the EDP, you definitely have a sense of what this smells like. Just add some cacao to your brain and I think you would get a better idea of what it smells like, but fresher. Okay, so this one is really pretty. More evenings, daytime too, maybe even nighttime. This is Mancera, the next one, Mancera Roses Vanille. This is another strong one. I think we can agree that all Manceras, well, I have to say, all the Manceras that I've tried are very strong. This one is very strong, rose and vanilla. And I think the mix of them is pretty equal because when I smell them, I don't get one necessarily over the other. When I smell the fragrance, I don't get one note more prominent over the other. And I mentioned before that in another video that there is a boozy note to this. Some people say it smells like beer, but then again, I mean, it doesn't take away from the fragrance. It's really pretty. And what I'm getting today, strangely, is almost a scent. I don't know if it's because I was talking about cacao before, but almost a chocolatey feel to it today instead of the booziness. Just a hint of booze, but chocolate. So roses, vanilla, and just a chord of chocolate. It's strange, but it's beautiful. It smells good. I haven't experienced that before with this fragrance, so I think this one, it holds up days, evenings, nights in the fall. I wouldn't wear this to work though, but again, all about preferences, right? So this is Roses Vanille by Mancera. This next fragrance I have is Lancome La Nuit and La Nuit Tresor. This one, I like this fragrance. I get the strawberry on top, and also I think there's pear and other fruits on top, tangerine. It's very fresh when you smell it, but then it dries down to become much sweeter. And I would describe this fragrance as a vanilla, not a vanilla, what am I saying? A rose confection, because it's that sweet. It's almost like a candy. I think that I have a reformulated batch because when I had a sample of this fragrance before, the incense was so strong. in the sample. But when I spray this and when I wear this, I don't get that incense note. That's why I bought this, actually, because it was so deep and it made this fragrance special to me. But I mean, this is still nice. I'll still use it up. And of course, you know, you can't deny the bottle. It's beautiful. But the scent I don't feel is as strong as the decant that I had before. But again, I would describe this as a rose, vanilla, fruity. It's confection-like, you know, something that's soft and easy to kind of melts in your mouth. Very smooth. Okay. So the next one I have is Armani C. This is the EDP. And this is a wine-like rose. There's black currant, vanilla, patchouli. This is so deep and this is rich to me. So this is a fragrance I would only wear for myself in the evenings into the night. It's very luxurious to me, and it's very sensual to me. It's a sexy fragrance. It's very strong as well. It projects. The sillage is beautiful. Longevity is great. This is definitely a quality fragrance and one that I'll always have. But like I said, it's a wine-like rose mixed with the berries and the patchouli. You get that feel, but it's also sweet, you know, the vanilla and the rose. So it's beautiful. I'll always have this fragrance. The next one I have is more on the spicy side, and it's said to be a dupe for Tom Ford Noida Noir. I have a small sample of that one, and I would say the Noida Noir has more vanilla, and the patchouli is deeper, more chocolatey, I guess. That's what it's supposed to smell like, and I get that with the vanilla and the patchouli in Noida Noir. This one, this is vanilla rose, spicy, soft spicy. It's not too spicy, but it's not that the patchouli is not chocolate like in this fragrance, not as chocolate like as in Noida Noir, the Tom Ford. This is on the spicy side. I can see people saying that this would be a sexy fragrance, but for me, because of the way that it wears on me, I would say that this is more of an occasional fragrance for maybe like a business event or a formal event. Let's just say a formal event. Look at that bottle. And so the reason that I say that is because I don't find it to be very sexy. I find it to say, I smell good, but I'm not here to seduce. That's what I get from more this particular fragrance, and Noida Noir too. I don't necessarily feel that that is a sexy fragrance. It smells good, but to me, it's not seductive. So. And the last one that I have is Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. And this is the Intense. Another spicy, patchouli, citrusy rose. And this one I would say is more versatile of the spicy. I would say that this is spicy, but it's fresh because of the citrus. So I would say if I sprayed this lightly, I could wear this to work. But I could also wear this to, you know, in the afternoons, evenings, nighttime. I would even say that you could wear this to a formal event. I feel like this is probably one of the most versatile fragrances in this list. So that's all of my offerings today. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Thank you for my new subscribers. You know, if you guys have any rose fragrances that you love for the fall, or like I said, for any time, rose is appropriate for any time I feel, put them down in the comments below. Let me know. And what are your favorite roses? You know, do you like sweet roses? Do you like fresh roses, fruity, spicy? And I guess that's it for today. I'll see you next video. Love your Fragrant Friend J. Bye, guys.